Chinese Exclusion Act, I mean, like, Japanese internment camps, rail tears, I mean, like, the stuff that's in the book right now, even without an editorializing, like, teacher to tell us that America is bad, how is
this is so good. Okay, this is probably one of the reasons why I'm such an ardent defender of satire and parody, because I think it can be used as such a useful tool in just like holding up a mirror and reflecting back to people how ridiculous the current state of everything is. Trolling a school board about critical race theory? Okay, I just want to watch this one.
There's a sort of pride that one must have to abandon everything that they know, both their families, to come to a nation.
Watch the good one? Oh, thank you. Good advice.
Mother gave me an opportunity. And that opportunity is not
Rice gum. I want React content.
There's struggles that I have to go through. I have to change my vernacular daily to make sure that I am heard. I have to make sure that if I'm the only black person in the room, I have to be respectful. I have to, well, obviously I have to be respectful, but I have to be everything and more than my own counterpart. You can't not see color. Color is who I am. Color is what makes people look at me and be intimidated. And to make them more comfortable, I know I'm probably getting on time.
30 seconds.
30 seconds. Just to make students comfortable, we need to see ourselves in our teachers. We need to see ourselves that we can be empowered too.
With regard to the second clarification, will the state document result in this anti-American perspective in our schools? That will not be the case. We live in a great country. We live in the greatest country. That will not be the case as a result of the work in our task force. I just want to clarify that. And then there have been questions that have come to me that will the work in the state's document be an anti-police rhetoric? That's not where our focus is. That will not be the case here.
Council, where you, superintendent, meet with your students and make sure that you're hearing their voices clearly. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome, Masterson.
Awesome.
My name is Walter Masterson, and I am an American and a patriot.
Hell yeah.
I've never read critical race theory like most of my conservative friends, but I did watch Tucker Carlson talk about it once. The best way to end racism is to stop talking about it. We never talked about racism in the 1950s, and how great for the 1950s. We won World War II, we invented airplanes, we went to the moon, and then we started talking about racism in the 60s, and boom, the Vietnam War. Coincidence? No.
Oh my God.
Just because I don't believe in critical race theory, does that make me a racist? Just because I get more angry when someone calls me a racist and I'm completely silent when there's actual racism, does that make me a racist? A lot of people say yes. I get called a racist a lot in the comment section of Instagram. So does anyone know how to disable comments for Instagram? Whatever happened to freedom of speech, So I'm here to say, we need to end forced indoctrination in our schools. And right after we do that, right after we end the forced indoctrination, we need to mandate that everyone stands for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Direct your comments to the board, not to the audience.
That's, I just want to say, as a conservative, just because I don't know anything about critical race theory, it doesn't mean I can't talk about critical race theory. Come on. I don't know, whatever happened to this freedom of speech thing here. It's it's big tech, government.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No. I love the dude. It's just like, oh my God. Yeah, he's joking. He's a professional troll. He's the same troll that we see who's gone to a whole bunch of MAGA rallies. He's usually really funny. He's the one, you may recognize him, who actually got around Matt Gaetz for that photo op near the beach and was like, Matt Gaetz, I don't believe any of the stories about you. I'm your biggest fan. I don't think you're a pedophile. I don't think you're a human trafficker. I don't think that you drugged and sexually assaulted a whole bunch of young girls. I don't think any of that's true. And then you could slowly see his handlers being like, okay, come let's think about this right now.
Just before we start, Speakers are to address the board, not the audience.
I think his name's actually Masterson.
Yeah, and I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
and
Appreciate
Marjorie
the
Taylor
comments
Greene was
that
right
just had.
there.
I feel like it's been very one-sided here. I also appreciate the comments that we had about how the school district will not teach critical race theory, and I appreciate that. But I want to go further. People have complained about what's in the history books. I agree. I think that there's too much history in these history books. I read in just a textbook that everyone gets for the U.S. history exam that John Rutledge of South Carolina during the signing of the Declaration of Independence was like, you can't have a revolution unless you codify slavery as part of America. And like, how does a student hear that, or hear about like how in 1820 the South was going to succeed unless you kept slavery around, or 1850 they're going to secede unless you kept slavery around, and then something 1860s, and then, you know, like, Chinese Exclusion Act, I mean, like, Japanese internment camps, Trail of Tears, I mean, like, the stuff that's in the book right now, even without an editorializing, like, teacher to tell us that America is bad, how are students...
This is so good. Okay, this is probably one of the reasons why I'm such an ardent defender of satire and parody, because I think it can be used as such a useful tool in just like holding up a mirror and reflecting back to people how ridiculous the current state of everything is. Like, this is so true. Like, obviously he's taking it to farcical new extremes, but like, yeah, why do we even teach history at all? Like teaching history is racist, okay? It's teaching white kids to hate themselves because apparently slavery occurred in this country. Apparently there was like a genocide of indigenous people. Like, why do we teach it at all? Why not just destroy all history books? You know, why don't we just clean slate it? We'll clean slate it. We'll start from scratch, and then everything will be great. Why not?
We're supposed to read this stuff and not think that we have a race problem in this country. We need to go back to teaching the basics. George Washington, but not the slavery part. World War II, but not the Japanese internment camps or the fact that the American Nazi party. And the I have a dream speech. We should teach MLK, but just that part, not the part where the FBI ruins his life. Listen, do I want like history curriculum being built by a bunch of PhDs? PhDs are famously literal. We need equity in our voices. If the uninformed, conservative voices of this country cannot use hate speech and fear-mongering to affect school curriculums, then why am I paying $15 a month to Trump's re-election campaign? So, fairness in our viewpoints, teach people to love America, not hate America, by not teaching them about America. Thank you.
Fucking brilliant. Brilliant. Oh, that's so good. That's so good. Yeah. This is the true utility of satire, friends. This is what it can do, you know? When well placed, a couple little courageous trolls there in the audience. Is there a third, or is that all?
I think
Bravo.
your speech was. I think
Well
your
done,
speech
lads.
Was, like, amazing.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
Mad
I
lads.
just feel like there's too much history going on in our history books right now. like, it's just, how are you supposed to love America?
I could not agree more. Stop teaching history. Teaching history is racist. We need to take this to its logical conclusions, okay? Teaching history is racist, and we should stop teaching history altogether. No more.
You know literally anything about what America is.
Yeah.
American history
Stop.
books, when you open them up, should just be an American flag
Yeah.
for 150 pages.
Only facts. It's a joke. They're trolls. He's wearing the Bitcoin hat. They're trolling you. Don't worry. You're okay. They're good people. I say that right before he starts announcing his new NFT line.
Stop teaching people about America.
No. Mount Rushmore.
Just teach them about Mount Rushmore.
But don't teach them anything about Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, don't teach them about how indigenous people consider that mountain sacred.
I just wanted to thank you personally for adding a little levity to the proceedings.
Thank you. You're welcome.
No, wholesome.
So apparently progressives in the audience, it took them about 10 seconds to realize I was doing satire. And then you're saying that there's a whole group of conservatives that thought I was real, that like they didn't catch on that I was doing satire.
Apparent conservative.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm sure they would have sat there and been like, why is everyone laughing? Why are they laughing? He's speaking the truth. They're both speaking the truth. Why are we teaching history? Why has no one brought this up? We should stop teaching history in our schools. It's racist.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't realize you were satire.
Everybody's time there. Whose time did we waste?
Masterson, you're a master. That was a master class in trolling and using trolling as an effective weapon. Well done. Very well done. Do you enjoy the Serfs but prefer not to have to use your eyeballs? Many are saying this. Well, we've got the solution for you. It's the Serf Times in podcast form. Available on most major podcasting networks now. If you enjoy it, please consider leaving a good review and feedback because it really helps the show out, apparently, and it's free, just like the podcast.
To our gods, Xander Corvus and Peyton L. Just, we beseech thee to smite down our enemies. To our monarch, Tom Spiker, we are but your humble court jesters, here to amuse you. To our lords, Trevor R., we give thanks for this spit of land for us to eke out this meager existence. To our knights, Merid, Cheryl Alvarez, Ruby Kelly, Ellie Leslie, Alex P., Brandon, Words Greenwood, Nate, that one guy, Hagbird Celine, Matthew Scarborough, Stellar Vision, Ariane McCarthy, Daniel Sutton, Coulter Smith, Val 9000, Jenna Tall, Quiet 185, Anna Loves Riley, Omni, Riley and Anna, Poodlehawk, The Tim Caucus, Multi Mondi, Trevor Yanis, Lemmy 101, Anthropophojak, Saren 42, Catherine, Radical Maniac, Ramon Acosta, Nkosin, Violent Orchard, Sophie Baby, Political Puppy, Andreas Chiringuito, Zach Christensen, Josh Mickelson, Todd Buckingham, and Todd Lajeunesse. We raise our flag in a veil, and we salute you, our friends.